So today is Holy Monday, and Holy Monday is a day of fasting or eating less, or however fasting is expressed in your life. It's a day of reading scripture, and it's the day that we remember Jesus clearing out the temple. And this is what happens after Palm Sunday. He's come in towards Jerusalem and the crowds go into a frenzy, and then he heads straight to the temple. And in some of the depictions in the scriptures, it's quite violent actually, of how Jesus clears out the temple and the money changers, and he's quite angry. Jesus never challenged the status quo or the authorities of the land just for the sake of the challenge in our scriptures. He was always doing it in defense of somebody who couldn't defend themselves. And in this case, people were coming on the Passover. They'd come from far away. They were people who did not have a lot of money. And they came to worship. They came to show their love for God. And the way they did it was through a temple sacrifice, which is not a practice we have anymore. But in order to sacrifice in an appropriate and pleasing way, they needed to purchase the animals with a particular currency. So they basically had to go to the money mart and exchange their currency. And the people in the temple they were providing that service, but they were taking advantage of people and charging outrageous amounts in order to exchange the money. And that is what made Jesus so angry. The barrier being put between people and their right to worship their God. So we can read these scriptures and just wonder about that time and enter into them for that time. And another way to approach them is to reflect on, well, what does this mean for me today? What are some of the practices that I'm involved in maybe, or that I see happening around me that maybe aren't serving anybody, or maybe aren't serving anyone anymore, that we need to leave behind? And I think that's where I'm going to be heading today, that's what I'm going to be thinking about, is what no longer serves, what needs to be left behind. And perhaps it's personal, perhaps it's on a bigger scale. Either way, it takes a lot of reflection and prayer and intentionality. So have a blessed Holy Monday. I will see you again tomorrow, and I'd love to hear about your thoughts of what can be left behind, if that's where you're headed, or your thoughts on just really delving deep into the scripture and what new insights you have, and how does that help us in this time and this place. Blessed Monday, folks, and I will see you on Tuesday morning.